Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Kristen, and if you're new here, this is a corner of the internet where I come at you every other week or so and share what I've been making. I do a lot of knitting, I do a lot of crochet, I do a lot of sewing, quilting, bead weaving. Lately there's been a lot of actual loom weaving, so I do all the things. So if you're into that type of thing, you're in a good place. Grab a tasty beverage and let's dive in, shall we? But first, just a couple of housekeeping notes. If you would like to follow me, I am Voolenvine pretty much everywhere on the internet. I mostly hang out on Instagram, but more recently I'm now on Blue Sky, where I'm also Voolenvine, and also on Substack, which guys, I'm loving Substack so much. It's my new favorite place to hang out on the internet, so if you're not over there already, I highly recommend it. Not only am I posting, what I usually post over on Instagram, but I'm posting a whole lot more, just lots of fun stuff. So I highly recommend that you follow me over there. And if you would like to support this channel, consider becoming a member of my YouTube channel, where you get a bi-weekly bonus vlog from yours truly. But I will say, if you become a paid subscriber over on Substack, you will not only get my bonus vlog, you'll also get a whole bunch of other things like behind the scenes stuff that's just exclusive to members over there. So, pick your poison. If you prefer to just hang out on YouTube, that's totally fine. Become a member on here. But if you want a little more goodies, definitely follow me over on Substack. So okay, my friends, I'm back. Dennis, my husband, had a couple of vacation days that he needed to use up. It was kind of like a use him or lose him type of situation. So didn't want to lose him. So we decided to just, rip it off like a Band-Aid and just go to the beach. Go to the beach. Now it's spring. We're so sick of the cold weather. We wanted sunshine. So we went to Florida for one weekend and then stayed home another weekend. And then this past weekend, we went to Barbados. So, Barbados is a very special place for us because we went there on our honeymoon 13 years ago, and this will have been our fourth time going back. So this time did not disappoint. The weather was beautiful. It was just nice. We were doormats on a beach the whole time. It was glorious. But I have to say, as always, it feels so good to be back in my craft room where I can make all the things. But yeah, it was a very muchly needed break. But now we're back, and I'm just ready to dive back into dyeing yarn and making all the things, and especially hanging out with you guys. That said, I do want to share with you the project that I brought with me to work on while we were away. And that is the Romanesque Tote by Kosenko Veselunka. And my sincere apologies if I mispronounce that. But I cast this project on going to Florida. I worked on it on the plane, on the beach, on the plane ride back, and then also worked on it flying to Barbados, worked on it on the beach, and then flying back, and here's where I am. Oh my goodness, guys, this project has been so fun. And also, let me tell you, this has been the perfect project to work on the beach. Not only because it's just super easy breezy, but also because of the yarn that I'm using, which you can see I'm... When the plane landed, this is how much yarn I had left, literally. So it worked out very well. The yarn that I'm using for this project is, of course, Aunt Lydia's Fashion 3, which is a little thicker than her crochet thread. It's got a little more meat to it, if that makes any sense. And this is the copper colorway. It's a really beautiful coppery sandy brown in my humble opinion, but the cotton, it does so well in humidity. If you have sunblock on your hands, it's a trooper, guys. Highly recommend this if you are looking for something to work on the beach, with crochet or knitting. But love this pattern so much. It has such a great, interesting construction. I mean, it has a boxed bottom. Let me see if I can get that on camera. So to start this project, what you do is you just make a simple chain, and then you're basically working around, crocheting, making single crochets all around that long chain that you made, and then increasing at the corners, which I don't know if you can see that. Creates like a little triangle effect on either side. And as you're crocheting around and around and around and stop decreasing, it just has this really cool boxed bottom effect. So it can hold a lot of stuff. And the rest is all this beautiful lacy crochet business up here. So lots of popcorn stitches, lots of arches, really, really holds your attention. And while it is, pretty intuitive and very meditative, for each round, I did find that I had to refer back to the original pattern. which is nothing really. You know, you just look at the directions and then you just memorize the stitch and you're off, you know? So no complaints there. Although I will say, I really, really do wish all crochet patterns came with a chart because I'm such a visual person. I prefer visuals as opposed to walls of text because my eyes just go cross-eyed. I don't know, but that's neither here nor there. It's a wonderful pattern. I highly recommend it. And yeah, just really excited to add this to my wardrobe. This is going to be a really great, you know, beach tote for my next beach trip because, you know, knowing us, we're always going to the beach during the summer. Maybe not on a plane, but, you know, local. So anyway, let's talk finished objects because I'm actually wearing my finished object. This, if you've been tuning in for a couple of weeks now, you already know, you already know what this is. But I was really inspired by some of the outfits that I saw on this past season of White Lotus. If you haven't seen the show, oh my gosh, guys, it is awesome. Highly recommend it. But there was so much crochet eye candy in that show that I pretty much wanted to make everything that I saw. But there was one outfit in particular that the character Chloe was wearing. It was beautiful, kind of like nude colored mesh crochet dress with beads sprinkled all throughout. And I found one website that just kind of finds where you can actually, you know, purchase the outfits that the characters were wearing, and thankfully they had a link to this one website called mybeachyside.com, and that was the designer of the dress that Chloe was wearing. So I was able to actually, you know, zoom in and look at all the details of the dress and figure out how to recreate it. So, you know, I just had some yarn in my stash and I made a little swatch and everything, figured out how to add the beads, and, you know, it seemed really doable. So I made it happen. I made it happen, guys, and I'm so happy with it. However, while the original is a dress, I decided to just stick to a top length version. Not because it was difficult or, you know, it was taking too long, but let me just tell you, my friends, this thing eats beads for breakfast. It takes so many beads, and I probably would have had to order pounds and pounds of size 6 seed beads. And while I would have loved to have the dress and I could have taken the time, I realized, you know what? 9 out of 10, I'm probably going to get more wear out of a top, and I wanted to have it in time for vacation. So I went with a top length version, and I'm very, very happy with it, guys. This turned out so well. I will stand up so you can see. I will stand back. I'm wearing a nude tank top under here, just in case you're wondering. I didn't want to give you guys a show, but yeah, here's what it looks like. Just, yeah, really simple construction, guys. This is not rocket science. I am actually going to be publishing a pattern for you guys in case you want to make one yourself. It's really, you know, when it comes to sizing, you know, guys, I have never designed a garment in my life, and I don't have grand plans to. Number one, because I know, if I were to design a sweater or whatever, something that's fitted, I would totally want to be size inclusive, and I don't know how in the world, where to start when it comes to that. I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I'm not ready to cross that bridge just yet. But when it comes to this is more of just a recipe. So the way I figured out sizing it for me was basically I just took a piece of scrap yarn and measured from here up across my my neckline and over and here, and I, you know, just measured it out and then created a foundation chain. So I will come close so you can see. So this is a half double crochet foundation chain, and that was how I sized it. It's not fitted. All it is just a crocheted rectangle on one side of that foundation chain, and then another crochet rectangle on the other side of that foundation chain, and then graft it at the side right here. So basically just creating a zigzag chain all the way up and down the side on either side. And, you know, and that's what the pattern is going to be, you know, just instructions on obviously how to do the stitch, add beads. And I think it's incredibly customizable because, you know, all you're doing is measuring, you know, your shoulder width. And then if you want, you can add more or take in less at the sides with grafting. You can add more chains or less chains. Anyway, it's all going to be in the pattern. I have my notes. I just have to get all my ducks in a row, edit it, and figure out a way to make it make sense, you know? Anyway, it should be very simple. I'm also going to add some videos to help you guys out in case you're like me and you need some visuals. So yeah, that is what is coming down the pipeline. But yeah, really, really happy with the way it turned out, guys. The one sad thing, while I did have it in time to wear on vacation, guys, I was covered in sunblock the entire time, and I did not want to get this covered in sunblock. You know, just, I don't know. I know I could probably wash it. It's cotton. It'll probably last through the wash, but I don't know. I didn't have proper photos of it yet. And anyway, I didn't want to get it dirty or ruined or anyway. So I never ended up wearing it on vacation, sadly. I know. But this summer, you know, this is just going to be something I, chuck on for like a night out with Dennis, obviously wearing something underneath it. But yeah, what a great project, guys. I'm actually very, very proud of myself for figuring it out and actually, making it happen, bringing it to fruition, But I will leave a link down below in the description box where you can actually see the original dress. And yeah, anyway, I've got to take photos of this later today, and I will get it up on the gram and on Substack and all the haunts, and then it will be completely done. But yeah, very, very excited to work on the pattern and get it out to you guys. Yeah, so okay, that is what I'm wearing. That is one of this week's finished objects. I know I have a small second finished object, which I'll get to in a bit. But let's give you an update on my Love Note pullover. This is a pattern by Tin Can Knits, and the yarn is yarn that I purchased from my trip to Amsterdam over Christmas. Finally making it happen. So here we are. I finished the body. Let me see. And I'm just about to finish one sleeve. So yeah, this is like truly flying off the needles. I just, I got distracted by the crochet project. So this kind of fell to the wayside a little bit, but I really love how quickly this is knitting up. And, obviously it's warm, so I'm in no rush to have a sweater right now. And let me stand back so you can see. Yeah, here we are. Ta-da! And this is just going to block out beautifully. The yarn is West Wool. I'm holding together two strands. So one is West Wool Bicycle in the color Sage, and then I'm holding it together with Glow Hair, also West Wool, in the Wellington color. So I think I have it in my stash over here. Do I? I do. Where's Wellington? Hang on a second. Here we go. There's one. Yeah, okay. Oop, no, that's the wrong color. What happened to Wellington? Where are you, buddy? Okay, it's around here somewhere. It's around here somewhere. I don't know what happened to the Glow Hair, but I will find it. I will find it at a later date. But this is the Bicycle Sage colorway. So just a really, really beautiful sage green, as the name suggests. And then when it's held together with Wellington, which is a really beautiful, gorgeous, dark, rich green, it just creates this lush marled effect. And I'm kind of obsessed with it, my friends. But what a great pattern. I mean, this is just, again, as I say every time, if you are looking for a beginner-friendly sweater pattern to knit, that incorporates a little bit of fancy lace, definitely check this pattern out. I should note, though, that it does start with a provisional cast on along the neckline, which means you're basically starting casting on with scrap yarn. Guys, when I first started knitting, provisional cast-ons used to scare the bejesus out of me. I would always avoid provisional cast-ons like the plague, but they're not as scary as it seems, guys. All it is, again, as I mentioned, you're casting on with scrap yarn, knitting one round, and then continuing on with the actual working yarn. And all that scrap yarn is doing is holding. It's basically working as just, a stitch holder. So once you finish knitting the rest of your sweater, you're going back and you're picking up those live stitches that the scrap yarn is holding, and then knitting the ribbing for the neckline. And then once you're done, you pull out the scrap yarn and you're gold. It's really, really clever. So, you know, if you are new to knitting and you've never done a provisional cast on, it's not scary at all. Maybe I'll do a tutorial. Would you like that? Let me know in the comments down below. And then the other thing worth noting is there's a bit of short row shaping. Again, nothing scary. Nothing scary. You know, just dive in. Just dive in. It's just yarn. You can always rip back if you make a mistake, you know? Yeah, so that is my love note. Again, a wonderful pattern by Tin Can Knits, yarn by West Wool that I got in Amsterdam. Love that I'm using that. So that is it for fiber arts this week. That's all I've been knitting. That's all I've been crocheting. What else did I want to talk about? We've got some beading. We have some beading. And I finished a pair of earrings. And these I was just, you know, I don't know. I was just kind of having fun experimenting. I had fringe on the brain, and I just made myself a pair of fringe earrings. And here they are. Fringe earrings with a little embellishment. So, you know, again, because with these fringe earrings, you're basically, here's the wrong side. You're basically doing brick stitch to create this little triangle and then add the fringe. And I felt like this area was a little plain. So I just went in and I added, I don't know how well you're gonna see this, but I just went in and I added some extra, you know, check glass beads, just experimented with, you know, embellishing that area on the earring. And then I also added these really fun drop beads to the end. Really kind of funky, I don't know. I'll try them on. I have these little gold hoops on right now, but I didn't wanna overdo it with the jewelry and the beads today. So I went simple in the ear department, but you know, on this podcast, more can be more. What can I say? Anyway, so here's what they look like on. Dennis thinks they're a little too big, but I love them, guys. I think they're a lot of fun. You know, with a cute black top or something, it could be a really fun outfit. So anyway, I'm also thinking about probably making a little tutorial for you guys on, you know, just how to make a simple pair of fringe beaded earrings. Yeah, so that is pretty much it in the beading department. Weaving, there. I'm not ready to talk about it yet. It's fairly new, so I will come back next time and talk about the weaving department. But if you follow me on Instagram or over on Substack, you probably know what I'm talking about. So if you want spoilers, go check that out. But anyway, that I believe, my friends, is all I have to share with you. Oh, but if you missed it, speaking of tutorials, I did actually publish last week a video tutorial on how to make bead embroidered earrings. So here they are. They're not as complicated to make as they look, my friends. I made a tutorial showing you how to make these from start to finish using supplies you can get at your local craft store. So I will link to it up here and in the description box below if you missed it. It got a lot of great feedback, so thank you so much to everyone who watched it and let me know that you enjoyed that tutorial. I have so much fun making these things for you guys. Please let me know if you have any requests or, you know, would like to see something else on this channel. I am all ears. So, okay, guys, I'm getting quite winded, so I'm going to wrap things up. Thank you so much, as always, for hanging out with me. If you've made it this far, and you haven't already, but you had a great time, feel free to like and subscribe down below. I'm putting out videos for your viewing pleasure every other week. Every other week you get one of these videos, and for members of this channel, every other week you get a bonus vlog, so, you know, if you can't get enough of yours truly, consider becoming a member of this channel, either here on YouTube or over on my Substack. As I say all the time, for the price of a monthly fancy schmancy cup of coffee every month, you can unlock some bonus features. And to that I say thank you so much for supporting me, for being here, and just, you know, being your awesome selves. So until the next video, happy making, and I will see you next time. Bye.